So by now, everybody knows the news that President Trump and the American military have invaded Venezuela. And I just wanted to make this quick video because I know in my prior video, I clearly stated that I oppose us invading Venezuela. And my concern was largely for losing American military lives in the process of us occupying yet another foreign country like we did with Iraq and Afghanistan. And while that remains a very real concern of mine, especially since it seems that we'll at least be temporarily occupying the Venezuelan government, I did neglect in that video to see things from the perspective of the Venezuelan people who have been oppressed and persecuted for well over 20 years now. And, just browsing social media, I see video after video of Venezuelans celebrating their freedom. And, while I'm concerned about what this means for our foreign policy and are we going to start policing the world and occupying other rogue regimes at the risk of losing American military lives, I do think it's important for us to at least pause and appreciate when the greatest country in the world, the most powerful country in the history of the world, chooses to use its might in order to come to the rescue of an oppressed people. And so I just wanted to show you a video of a Venezuelan man because in light of what happened today, I think it's important for us to hear from what they have to say and their perspective. And he doesn't seem to be the greatest Trump fan either. But there's a diplomatic saying that says, walk softly and carry a big stick. And regardless of what you think about President Trump, I think we can all agree that it's a good thing that President Maduro got hit with the big stick today. And, the Bible says a lot about justice. For example, in Psalms 9, verse 16, it says that God is a God of justice. And today, justice was served.
Okay, as a Venezuelan American, I got some shit to say. My family, my parents, my sister, my extended family, all lost everything. Their work, their savings, their investments, gone. Wiped out by a narco-dictatorship that has held Venezuela in a death grip for over 25 years. And what happened to my family has happened to millions, and yes, millions. The Venezuelan exodus is the second largest displacement crisis on earth after Syria. This is not just a tragedy. It is one of the great humanitarian disasters of our time. But the suffering doesn't end there. This regime has jailed hundreds of political prisoners. Thousands have been murdered simply for speaking out. More than a third of the population has fled. 1/3. Not for better opportunities or for the American dream, but to survive, to live, because staying often means death. And while the world may see Venezuela as a collapsed state, what it is in reality is an occupied one. Our territory, our natural resources, and our institutions have been overrun by hostile foreign powers. Iranian militias, Chinese corporations, Russian intelligence, all exploiting our country with impunity. Venezuela is no longer just a local crisis. It is now a geopolitical threat that endangers the entire Western Hemisphere. It has become a launch pad for an authoritarian expansion in the Americas. And in the midst of all of this, one woman has dared to lead the charge for freedom. Maria Corina Machado. In 2024, against every odd, she led a peaceful democratic uprising that won the election. Her team smuggled physical voting receipts out of the country, hard proof of victory that the regime tried to bury. Her courage has lit a fire in the hearts of millions of Venezuelans desperate to believe that change is still possible. But now some have questioned her decision to dedicate her Nobel Prize to Donald Trump. Okay, I get that. But here's the truth. It was a brilliant strategic move in the global chessboard of politics. Maria Corina is no fool. She knows exactly the kind of man Trump is. She knows how much he campaigned for it, loudly and relentlessly, to win that very same prize. She knows how symbolic and personal that recognition is to him. And precisely because of that, she understood that this gesture might be the thing that keeps his attention focused on Venezuela at a time when U.S. presence and pressure in the Caribbean is rising. She didn't dedicate that award to flatter him. She did it to protect and preserve the one kind of power that could help shift the course of history. Because for her, this isn't about pride. It's not about optics. It's about freedom. And let's be very clear. Maria Corina is not asking for the U.S. to invade Venezuela. She's not campaigning for war. Venezuela is already invaded. It is held hostage by a narco state, overrun by foreign agents and enemies of democracy, Russians, Iranians, Chinese, all operating freely, weaponizing our land and resources to expand their influence across Latin America. What Maria Corina is calling for, what millions of Venezuelans are praying for, is the support of the only military on earth capable of countering that threat and helping to free our people. This is not imperialism. This is liberation. She's not playing partisan games. She's playing for Venezuela's life. Because this isn't theoretical. This isn't academic. This is life or death. So yes, it is time to honor her bravery, but more importantly, it is time for the world, especially the free world, to recognize what's at stake. The fight for Venezuela is a fight for freedom, for democracy, and for the stability of an entire continent. If we truly care about liberty, human dignity, and peace in the Americas, then Venezuela's fight must matter to all of us. Que viva Venezuela, que viva María Corina Machado.